Tsar is the title they gave the ruling emperor of Russia,
Mm-hmm.
Tsarina. Tsar translates into literally Caesar because of the Romans of their conquests of Russia
Mm-hmm.
for years at the beginning of the last millennia. Well, the millennia before that, the Roman. So, and this just tells you how far the name Caesar goes just
Yeah.
throughout the
Yep.
world, and how popular the word czar is. Like I was thinking about this, like czar, like how popular that became after this family had died. Especially in the United States. Like remember the drug czar or the health
Right. The
czar.
drugs
And,
I
it's
mean,
like
because
just
they spent 4 decades, no, 4 centuries in power.
yeah, they ruled for over. This family had before they were deposed had ruled Russia for over 300 years.
I mean, that's a popular type stuff right there.
Yeah, that just goes pretty far. But Nicholas is the reason why he's the last fucking czar again.
You know, you know.
Uh, Nicholas the Second. He was born Nikolai and Andronovich Romanov
Hmm.
in May. He was born in May 1868. Um, he's known in the Russian Orthodox Church as Saint Nicholas the Passion Bearer. Yeah, that's why I told you the Russian Orthodox Church. I don't know if you want to name this guy the Saint. He was the last emperor of Russia. His official title was last emperor. Well, not last, but emperor of Russia, king of Congress Poland, and Grand Duke of Finland.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
A lot of
he
titles.
he ruled from November the 1st, 1894, until he abdicated the throne on March 15th,
Hmm.
1917. Um, where do we start? Well, let's start at his birth. Uh, he was born that title. He was given the title first of Grand Duke Nicholas. He was born in Alexander Palace, south of St. Petersburg, during the reign of his grandfather, Emperor Alexander II.
Mm.
He's the eldest child of then the Tsarinovich, which I guess translates into prince, heir Alexander and his wife Maria. Grand Duke Nicholas' father was heir apparent to the Russian throne as the second but eldest surviving son of Emperor Alexander II. He had five younger siblings: Alexander, um, who I believe passed away a year after he was born; George, um, Xenia, Michael, and Olga. Nicholas often referred to his father in letters after Alexander's death in 1894. Alexander, his grandfather. He was very close to his mother. No, his father. He was right when his father passed.
Mm.
He's very close to his mother, as revealed in published letters to each other. Let me give you a little background on his grandfather. Alexander II, when he came into power, he wanted to give reforms to the Russian people. He abolished the serfdom system.
Oh.
Um, he wanted to bring a Congress into the Russian, well, not the Russian people, the aristocracy, the Duma. We know it's the Duma now. Um, that's the
He
name of their Congress.
he must not have ended well.
No, he was, I believe, yeah, he was assassinated.
Yep. Too much. Doing too much. He was definitely doing too much.
He before he could put the Duma into effect, he was assassinated. Um, so his father comes in, Alexander III. It was like, no, we're not doing that shit. My father got assassinated because you wanted to put a Duma in, and we're not doing that shit. We're not. We'll keep the serfdom. You're not enslaved to the land, but you're answering to wealthy landowners. I'm in charge. I'm fucking in charge.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole time his father run around trying not to be fucking assassinated.
Hey,
Because Russia had a really interesting history of assassinating their leaders when they're pissed off.
if you didn't do what you were supposed to do,
Yeah.
you got to
And
go.
yes, you absolutely got to go. And also add to the fact that Tsar Nicholas II has direct lineage to not only Peter the Great, but also Queen Victoria of Great Britain.
Because they all have the same damn lineage at this point.
Yes, like you've seen the famous picture of Tsar Nicholas II and Great Britain's King George V
Hmm.
standing together, and they're looking damn near identical.
Yeah, yeah.
That was the inner fucking all the monarchs of
Right. That's a hell of a way to
of
put it,
Europe
Nick.
were doing. Yeah, that would be shit, dude. All the fucking they just sending out sons and wives like, here, you marry this guy, you marry this guy, you
Yeesh.
marry this guy, you marry this world, you rule this kingdom. Like Queen Victoria at a time before most of the European monarchs had fallen after World War I. Um, they were all over the damn place.
Yeah.
Greece, Germany,
Yeah.
Syria, all over the fucking place. Denmark.
They were serious about it. Serious about it.
Yeah, like all right. Here, his Nicholas was related to several monarchs in Europe. His mother's siblings include Kings Frederick VIII of Denmark and George I of Greece, as well as the United Kingdom's Queen Alexandria, who was the wife of King Edward VII. Nicholas' wife Alexandria and German Emperor Wilhelm II were all first cousins of King George V of the United Kingdom. Nicholas also first cousins to both King Haakon VII and Queen Maud of Norway, as well as
Queen
King Christian.
Maud.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
pause. Queen Maud.
Maud.
Continue.
It's kind of funny because I have a friend and she's named Maud. I'm not kidding
Really?
you. Yes.
Hey,
When,
Nick's friend Maud. How you doing? That's
that
it's an interesting name.
is an interesting name. As well as King Christian X of Denmark and King Constantine of Greece. Nicholas and Wilhelm II were in turn second cousins once removed, as each descended from King Frederick William III of Prussia, as well as third cousins, as they were both great great grandsons of Tsar Paul I of Russia, in addition to
Whew.
being second cousins through descent from Louis II, Grand Duke of Hesse, and his wife, Princess Wilhelmine of Baden. Nicholas and Alexandria were also third cousins once removed, as they were both descendants of King Frederick William II of Prussia.
That made me so. That,
I need a nap just read that shit.
that was so.
Holy fuck.
To say everybody's related.
Yes, everyone's related.
Everybody's
And
related.
now you know how World War I started.
Yeah.
On March the 1st, 1881, following the assassination of his grandfather, Alexander II, Nicholas became heir apparent upon his father's ascension as Alexander III. Nicholas and his other family members bore witness to Alexander II's death, having been present at the Winter Palace in St. Petersburg, where he was brought after the attack. For security reasons, the new Tsar and his family relocated their primary residence to Gachnia Palace outside the city, only entering the capital for various ceremonial functions. On such occasions, Alexander III and his family occupied the near Anoich Palace.
Okay.
So his father is crown czar. He reverses all the reforms his father wanted to do because
No.
it's stuff
Didn't want to get
he
killed.
symptom. Didn't want to get killed. Thought he was going to get killed. Also, he thought, hey, I was put, which translated over to his son Nicholas. I was put here by God,
Oh gosh.
so I must rule Russia.
Yikes. Yikes.
Yeah. In 1890, Nicholas, his younger brother George, and their cousin Prince George of Greece set out on a world tour through Grand Duke George. Even though Grand Duke George fell ill, was sent home personally way through the trip. Nicholas visited Egypt, India, Singapore, and Ceylon, which is now Thailand, receiving honors as distinguished guests in each country. During his trip through Japan, Nicholas had a large dragon tattooed on his right forearm by
All right.
Japanese tattoo artist Horio Sinta. Yeah, that
Mess it up. Too
guy.
late. Mess it up. Keep going though.
Yeah, his cousin George V of United Kingdom also received a dragon tattoo from the same guy in Yokohama years earlier. During his trip to Asu, one of his escorting policemen swung at the Tsarevich's face with a saber
Oh.
at an event known as the Osu incident. Nick was left with a 9 centimeter long scar on the right side of his forehead, but the wound was
Yeesh.
not life threatening. So apparently, this guy, Sanso, he was a Japanese policeman. He tried to kill Tsar Nicholas. The reason why is a little unclear, but he was. Oh yeah, here it is. He attempted to assassinate Nicholas because he thought Nicholas was a Russian spy.
Okay. He was half right.
Yeah, he really wasn't. I mean, from what historic people who were there with him on his trip to Japan, Nicholas, is that he really wasn't impressed with the Japanese culture or the Japanese royal family because they were still being ruled by the emperor. I think he had, from what reports said, he was supposed to meet with the Japanese emperor at the time, and he skipped the meeting. And
Well,
he was also very racist against the Japanese people, um, which we'll go into a little bit later on when the shit he gets in with Japan. Um, that's not the only thing he was racist against. He was very
everybody.
anti-Semitic.
You got to be anti
Yeah,
everybody. Honestly.
everybody was anti-Semitic, but he was like, it was kind of like with certain royal families, he kind of kept it like, yeah, they were anti-Semitic, but they really didn't allow it to affect their policy, especially since they were allowing Jewish people who were the aristocracy. Like there was one report that when he went to visit his cousin King George V,
Hmm.
that this is when he was czar. He was so openly anti-Semitic that literally he made the royal family of England very uncomfortable. And it was like a couple of them had said to him, like there was one guy that was there who he refused to go near because he thought he was Jewish. Like this guy would try to start a conversation. And this guy's part of the aristocracy of United Kingdom. And every time he tried to like start a conversation with him, or even like he was in the same room, Nicholas would just move around like very frantically. It's like I don't want to be
Okay.
near the Jewish person. It was so bad that the English royal family made fun of him. They were like, "Dude, you need to relax, chill out, man." Like especially with this guy. This guy is one of us. Like,
Shit.
shit, chill the fuck out.
Interesting.
Like
Very
even
interesting.
like when he like was interacting with Rasputin was like and like the pogroms that were going on in Russia at the time before World War One. A lot of Jewish pogroms were going on, and Rasputin was like, "Dude, chill out, stop killing all the fucking Jews." This
Yikes.
is like God. He was like, "Dude, stop! This is ridiculous." And he tried to get him
Okay.
to stop. Like, but we'll get into that a little bit later on. So, so after that incident, where someone tried to kill him, um, he returned back to St. Petersburg, and he was there at the ceremonies in Vlasunik, commemorating the beginning of the work of the Trans Siberian Railway. Then
Mm.
in 1893, Nicholas traveled to London on behalf of his parents.